Season 5, Episode 15, Take 1. What is good, everybody? My name is Jake, and welcome back to the One Take series, where we get one chance to reflect on the day. No second chances, no third chances, one take, and one take only. If we take a look at the list today, we're going to see a lot of red. Okay, admittedly, no, I did not get to Jesus, so far we are on track to not do this, but we're going to make this 5 chapters, okay? The goal is to read 5 chapters, which means across the next 6 days, we are supposed to read at least 5 chapters out of the following 6 days, right? We will mark our progress here just to kind of see. Okay. So far, this is 0 out of 7. And then this gym is also going to be, and I just realized it's actually out of 5. And then for gym, it's also going to be out of 4. And then naturally, I did not hit the gym today either. So therefore, that's going to be a 0, okay? It is what it is. I mean, we didn't get to it, right? That's what we have the other days for. Again, it's a problem when we start missing multiple days, like we were last week, pretty much the entire week, right? So when it came to other things, let's get the other stuff that I didn't do out of the way. No, I did not work on internships, like I said, portfolio. That's guaranteed this week, and I'm making sure that's done, and that's like the main priority. Other than studying for a midterm that's upcoming, but more on that later. Besides studying for that upcoming midterm, absolutely want to get that portfolio done so I can start applying for internships and start thinking about the summer of 2026. Because once we're able to get that off of our plate, we can just straight up erase this and we don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay? When it comes to work and Big Brother, we did not work, therefore we did not watch Big Brother. I've kind of just accepted the fact that if we're not working during the weekdays, then we are not watching Big Brother. That's really all it comes down to, because right now I'm in a position where I don't really go on my phone. Like, thankfully, I've been definitely avoiding the bed a lot more than I was the previous weeks, and I really am proud of myself for that. Especially today, I did a great job of avoiding my bed for the most part. So really, if I'm not working during the weekdays, then I am going to not watch Big Brother, right? The only way that I would be able to watch Big Brother and then also not be working at the same time is if it was during a weekend and I figured that it would need some downtime. That is the only exception, okay? For the rest of this, okay? No, I did not get to the fundraiser thing. Like, basically, academics is going great. It's going fantastic, except for that freaking 1 p.m. I have to retake a quiz today. And unless I just magically had an epiphany and threw the Hail Mary of the century, 4th quarter with 0 seconds left on the clock, no, I did not do well, okay? But the thing is like, to be honest with the 1 p.m., listen, okay, I know I've been complaining about it a lot. And there just comes to a point where I just have to stop talking about it. Because if you let me complain about it, I will never stop complaining about it. I will be up for the next 8 hours complaining about this class until I have to go take it again. I've never dreaded going to a class more than that. And honestly, what's crazy is I'm not even the one who feels the same, there are other people who feel the same way as me, okay? Within my major, okay, all I'm going to say, because you guys know it's engineering. So naturally, like, engineering is just engineering, you know, but there were people that were literally saying, like, within my major, some of the smartest people within my specific field of engineering were saying it was tough. If that's the case, you know it's a problem. You know it's a problem when people who are consistently getting A's in college courses, this is not me, by the way, people who are consistently putting up A's in some of the toughest courses in college, they're struggling with this. I think there's a problem there, okay? And it's definitely absolutely the teacher, right? And so basically, there was one good thing that kind of came out of this was I was able to make a new connection out of it. She was a really cool person, and I think I'm gonna see her pretty semi-often. So, you know, it's one of those things, like, if I just see her around, then honestly it'll just be kind of like a thing of like, hey, what's up? And then we kind of just like talk about life, you know? So pretty cool there. I really like that. So now we get to the positive stuff, okay? Starting off great with sleep. It wasn't the greatest night of sleep. I had to wake up partway through to use the bathroom. When I'm always use the bathroom at night, I've gotten into the habit of either completely or mostly closed eyes, and I'm pretty much just like, I've never opened my eyes. That's the thing. If you wake up in the middle of the night, never open your eyes to go do anything, because you will not be able to fall asleep, right? I also had a nightmare partway through, but honestly, the rest of it was pretty chill. And honestly, it did feel good getting a proper night of sleep. I was actually able to use the morning pretty effectively. I won't lie. I was actually proud of myself for that. I was able to. What I did was because I have my desk and my bed here, but I have like another workstation in like another part of like this like apartment, and so basically I was just able to. I was set my computer over there like for the morning, so that way if I wanted to get up and go do any work, I was able to just go to that room. I think that worked really well. Another thing that I did, I have as my alarm, you might have heard of it, In My Zone by Miles. You probably have not heard of it. It's not that like well known of a song, but basically it's a very movie kind of one, you know, like when it makes you want to dance type stuff. And so it's basically a thing where I am requiring myself to dance and when I get up in the morning. So like if I don't get up and dance, then basically like I can't shut off the alarm. So basically I gotta lay down and then get up and start moving just like a little bit. So that way by moving a little bit, then I'm able to just alert my brain and get some activity, right? And so that worked out really well. I was able to get up, work for maybe a few hours, not work on work, but like maybe like schoolwork, and then also just kind of like check up with research, right? So I was able to follow up with that one professor, and he did confirm that I am going to get a lab tour on why did I say 3? That's not a day of the week. Sorry, that I was able to get, I was able to follow up with him in terms of the tour on Friday, which is really, really hype. And so we're going to get a look at the lab, and I'm going to be able to ask graduates questions, which is amazing. Okay, what I did not expect, okay, because you already know we have the 2 deals on the table, okay? Right, so the current status of the 3 research professors, right, or at least people offering research. There's one with the interview done, and then the tour this Friday. And then the other one that I was talking about has the interview on Thursday. What I did not expect was for a 3rd professor to throw their hat in the ring and say, hey, sorry, it was a really hectic week last week. Yes, I would like to meet up. And what time works for you? I have not responded to the email yet, but provided I am able to get the time I want, I am planning to also do that on Thursday. Just group that on the same day, so that way, I'm not going to mix them up. I'm not going to mix them up because they are on 2 very separate topics. And worst case scenario, even if I do mix them up, like, I'm not going to. So, that's really just what it is. And so, yeah, we have I have the idea. I want to get the vibes of these people, right? And I want to know, like, if I were, because this tour is going to come a lot sooner than these 2 tours, but I'm grouping them into the same day specifically so that way my mind can be in a very research mindset when it comes to Thursday. Because once we do reach Thursday, that's when the bulk of like my schoolwork type stuff is going to be done. And so that's really what I want to focus on. I want to focus on today through Wednesday, getting through the main primary schoolwork that we have to, so that way on Thursday we can focus on research, while also doing a little bit of research stuff in between to read up for these 2 ones and just kind of seeing, So, I guess I'm in high demand. I honestly thought, I was like thinking about that one like thing, right? Sorry. I genuinely thought 5 was not going to be enough, and then, you look at it now. Out of the 4 professors that responded, 3 of them won an interview. That's kind of crazy, low key. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. My strategy hasn't really changed. It's just whichever one I'm feeling the most, whichever one I think is going to have the greatest vibe, whichever one I think is going to be like more of a better fit for me is simply the one I'm going to go with. So we're going to do these 2 interviews. If they go well, then I'm going to schedule a tour. If they don't, we already have a tour on Friday, okay? So basically, everything I was saying about the safety net was true, except the first time I already landed on cushion, right? I'm already cushioned from this, so we're already set. So worst comes to worst, these 2 fail, we're already in. That's it. Now it's just a matter of which one do I like the best and which one do I think is best for my future. So research, needless to say, before research has even started, is going phenomenally. Okay, the rest of it, okay, we look at music. People wanted to meet up tomorrow. This is actually exciting because usually Tuesday is like my free-ish day. It's my most free day out of the 5 days of the week, right? Just based off scheduling. And so there were a bunch of people from the mini music industry that wanted to meet up so that we can shoot a music video, and also for this one person, and then also give this one person kind of like lyrics advice. It just kind of like connect with each other. And so I think that would be a really good opportunity for me. I'm planning on doing that after my classes, and I think that is going to be exciting. I do, however, like I said, need to get on the fundraising idea. Just clock out just a quick 10 ideas. Like I said, I already have about 3, so it really should not be too much of an issue getting those done, okay? One take, obviously long form is going well, but I need to be better about uploads. So that's pretty much where we're at with all of this, okay? We map up these classes, okay? I need to make names for each of the classes, okay? So we already have, right, just looking at the classes, and then afterwards I'll talk about the miscellaneous stuff, okay? We have the 1 p.m., right? That's one class. We have the unplanned pregnancy. That's another class. And then what are we gonna name the other ones? Well, I know I name dropped one of them, so I don't have to hide that one. One of them is linear algebra. Okay. And then there are 2 more classes. Let me see. What should I call this one? Let's see. No, I was gonna say 101, but then the 1 p.m. it was already kind of like interfering with that. So let me see. I realize that that's kind of the perfect name for it. If you know, you know. And then afterwards, let's see, the final class. I'm trying to think of, what is the last one? Hang on. Okay. I feel like I always, oh yeah, okay. Got you. Let me see. What should I name this? We'll call it, no, don't call it that. Let me see. We're gonna call it, no, don't call it that. That's a bad idea. I don't know what we should call that one. Should be called classes. We're just gonna name it Cool Unk, because I can't think of another one. And then we're just gonna say lab, okay? Lab, okay, it's important to know that Let Me See has a lab in and of itself, okay? But this one is more within my major, right? So these are our classes, right? We have, and I'll write the full words out, okay? We have the 1 p.m., we have the unplanned pregnancy, we have linear algebra, it's a crazy jump, and then we have Let Me See, we have Cool Unk, and then we have Lab. So, because I'm breaking it up so that way you guys can visualize how I'm feeling about each class. 1 p.m., I mean, I already covered as much as I needed to yesterday. You could tell based off my reaction, bro. This thing is like as close to the devil as I've seen in any of my classes. I fucking hate this class. Everybody hates this class, and it's specifically because of the professor. Only people who've taken this class can relate to what I'm talking about with this specific professor. That's the important thing. Unplanned pregnancy, honestly, not bad. I'll be honest. It isn't going horrible. It really isn't. I mean, right now, as of how I'm concerned, we have an A in that class. We've gotten a 100 on one quiz, a 95 on another, and this most recent one I got a 99. In addition to that, the homeworks I'm feeling pretty confident on. It's really just reviewing for those midterms, because I know that it's a lot different taking a test without my notes and without all the stuff available to me, and then having a walkthrough of everything that I need to get done with the quizzes, right? So it's very, very different, but honestly, it's not as bad as I thought. Like I said, the unplanned pregnancy is like you're up to the bat and you get caught off guard by a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, but then every pitch after that is a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, so you're going to see it coming. Whereas the 1 p.m. is that the ball turns invisible from the pitch and suddenly turns visible as soon as it passes the plate, right? So that's basically how I'm feeling about those two classes, okay? Linear algebra, like, not bad, okay? Just not bad. It's like, I'm not feeling the greatest about it. However, I mean, it's not horrible, right? It's definitely, absolutely not the end of the world. I'm feeling confident on like the actual concepts. What I'm not feeling confident on is being able to solve problems and using the right terminology to solve problems, okay? Let me see in the lab. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's a taste of heaven. It really is. Oh my gosh. I love that class so far. That is the most fun class. It doesn't even feel like a class, and I love when classes feel like that. Okay, Coolunk, heck yes, dude, badass. I love it so far. I think it definitely requires a little more attention than what we're giving it, and I absolutely am going to have to lock in tomorrow to make sure that I get an assignment for that class done. But I mean, needless to say, I'm loving that class as well. And then the lab. No, not enjoying it. But I mean, it is what it is. It's not awful. It's just that the TA is okay, and then also the like lab reports, because they have to be capped at 5 pages. It is so hard. Like, if for me, usually like it will take as many words as it takes for me to write a lab report. So when you cap me off at 5 pages, not a fan at all. So that's those, okay? To explain the rest of it, okay? First of all, like I said, you all know, people who watched yesterday's episode know that I was talking about streaks when it came to controlling a specific urge. And that my top 3 streaks, 23, 17, and that my current one yesterday was tied for 16. Let's just say that this streak is officially back to zero. No, I'm kidding. It's not back to 0, guys. Don't worry. I hope I gave someone a heart attack. If I gave at least one person a heart attack, then my goal was accomplished. We made it to 17, boys. We made it to 17, and based on how this night is going, we're absolutely making it to 18, and I'm so freaking proud of myself. To put it in perspective, just how long ago this was, this 17 streak happened 2.5 years ago. This 23 streak happened almost 2 years ago. It has been 2 years since I've had a streak that has broken into the top 3 of this. That is insane to me, and it feels incredible. I feel extremely gratified, and I love it. I love it, and I don't want to freaking stop, because I feel like an absolute unit right now. I mean, genuinely. I feel like everything I do, I feel like the way I walk around, I feel like the way I talk to people is just fucking awesome, dude. Like, I feel like that guy. I really do. Bro, I went to a freaking, like, I didn't eat for the majority of the day. I didn't eat until like 6 p.m. because like I was basically down at campus for the majority of the day, and I don't have a meal plan. So I ended up going to like this one restaurant, right? And it was like a fast food restaurant, right? a healthy one. But basically, what ended up happening is that there were people there that were working, and I swear, bro, like I know I'm not delusional. Okay, there were low key girl workers there that were kind of like fangirling over me. I can't even lie, bro. Like the cashier. Okay, maybe the cashier. Maybe they're just naturally smiley with that. But they were pretty smiley. Okay, not only that, but specifically the person who was, I'll say it. It was a little bit of a drive, I'll be honest, but I ended up going to a Jimmy John's that was near campus, right? And so basically, the person who was handing me my sandwich, they were calling my name. They were like Jake, and so I kind of went up, and so like she kind of smiled, and so she was just kind of like she was just stuttering in her movement. She was just like this, kind of like just not sure what to do with her body, and then she was like have a great day, and I'm like, wow, bro. Oh my gosh, I mean, that's a confidence booster. I can't even lie. So that felt great. Let me see. But just like other things, just like oh my gosh, I just love it. I love the energy and I feel great about it. And I'm really, really proud that I'm starting to break free of it. That's really all I can say. And so, let's see. And the rest of it, let's see. Yeah, okay. Money is not applicable because we haven't been working with it. Yeah, like I said, I've gained more confidence when talking to women, specifically because I'm keeping this streak up, and also just because I'm improving my speaking and social skills in general. I like to think. Okay, connections. Okay, this is going to play in one of the lessons of the day. Okay, because the person, ironically enough, who was helping me so much with research, it has gotten to a point with them where, some people, my mom always had a great analogy, right? I'm not going to draw anything. My OCD is kicking in, needs to change that green arrow to a black one. But my mom has a great analogy when it comes to life. She always described people and people that you know and people that are currently in your life as a train, right? And that some people just get on and off the train at certain points, right? You'll meet someone, they'll serve a specific purpose, and once they have served that purpose, they will get off the train. They might get back on your train at a certain point later in life, right? Just to kind of like see, just cause, right? Just because life is like that. But not a lot of people stay on the train, right? So ironically enough, the person who was helping me with research, like I said, the people that I formed the alliance with within my major when it came to linear algebra, I don't know, they're just cliquey. They're really cliquey, and my friend was also in that class. And so they ended up doing a thing where, like I said, I think I covered it. Basically, the four of us were sitting like this, and then, like, I was sitting with my friend, and the three of them just randomly moved up. It's like, okay, like, you're just weird, honestly. You're weird. Okay, one of those people, like I said, was the people who helped me with research. And so I talked about it, but it's clear that they don't really want to develop a friendship, and so it's like, okay, well, you know what, we just leave it. They served the purpose that I needed in my life, and clearly I definitely needed it, and it's working perfectly, and that's really all that matters. So I don't really take that to heart. In addition, it felt good because I was mentioning my other research opportunity and also the fact that I was able to get another one, and one of the people, because those three people, I mean, they voluntarily moved up and to make room for another person in their friend group, but I mean, they moved up nonetheless when they could have just made another seat. So it's pretty clear that they're abolishing me, right? Pretty dang clear. So what ended up happening was that when I was talking to my friend about the research, right? One of the guys, they turned back and they were kind of just like, they had that look on their face that was like, damn, bro. Damn, we kind of low-key made the wrong decision. And which, honestly, I don't mind that. I really don't mind that, okay? And this is why I'm saying sometimes you gotta burn bridges, right? Because especially within my major, but especially just with college in general, okay? This could either sound really cringy, or this could be one of the hardest speeches that I've given in the history of One Take. Or maybe it's just somewhere in the middle. But the thing is that when it came to college, and specifically across the last couple of semesters, it just felt like everyone wanted me to be the villain so fucking bad. So fucking bad. They were like, this guy oh, this guy, there's this thing wrong with him, there's this thing wrong with him. Oh, look at this guy, like, he doesn't always give factual information, which, by the way, whenever I don't, is just an accident. Like today, for example, I thought we were going to have a quiz in linear algebra on this Friday, right? So I told someone, they were like, that asked if we were going to have a quiz, I was like, this Friday, right? And then it ended up being this Wednesday, and that was the same guy that was like looking jealous of my research, and he was basically just like, oh yeah, it was Wednesday. I'm like, okay, so it was Wednesday. Who the fuck cares, right? There's a bunch of stuff like that, and it's not even encapsulated within this semester alone. Okay, I mean, just to show you a perspective of lore drop. Remember that one like club that I ended up burning bridges with, like the hip hop club? So the thing is that specific club was a prime example of how so many people just looked at it, and especially just because of like the type of people. Okay, me myself, I'm a little more conservative. A lot of the people in there were liberal. Okay, they literally, I mean, I kid you not, there's no other explanation for it. They saw a straight white guy in the rap community and they didn't fucking like it. If you want me to be the villain, I will be the fucking villain. That really is all there is to it. Okay, it does not matter what you think of me, but if you want to hate on me so bad, and if you want to just try to put me in this corner, then all I'm going to do is be 10 times more motivated to get the fuck out of that corner and stand in the center of that room. That's one thing they don't tell you about villains. Villains aren't born. They don't come out of the womb as villains. Villains, over time, adapt to their situation and become villains to protect themselves. That's the thing. So if people want me to be the villain, well, here is the origin story, and let's flash forward to a bunch of years in the future where this villain comes out on top. Because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, okay? Here's the thing. I personally, sometimes on certain occasions, love nothing more than to see a villain prosper when everyone was making them out to be the villain. There's just something so bitter but satisfying about it. There really is. Because everybody is rooting for the hero this whole time, right? They're like, oh, the hero. Oh, hero always defeats the villain. Oh, villain is always bad. But sometimes in life, it is just a complete shock and a twist of events when the villain comes out on top and beats the so-called heroes that everyone idolizes. There's something so satisfying about it, about reality in general. And that's what I'm trying to bring into these people's lives. Because so many people around me, their heroes are people who have nothing going for them. They're people who don't inspire others. They're people who don't have drive, who don't have power. They're people who literally just do nothing and criticize the people who are trying to do something with their lives. They're criticizing their so-called villains. So let's watch this villain win. That's all I'm gonna say. Villains aren't born, darling, they're made. That's one of my favorite song names. That's that, right? So, yeah, what did we learn from today? Okay? If people have a certain mindset towards you, fuel it. Use it as fuel, okay? I've said it before and I'll say it again, but I haven't said it on one take. A hero to Christ is a villain to the world, okay? That is my personal, saying, okay? I'll say it again. A hero to Christ is a villain to the world, okay? There are a lot of things about Jesus Christ and about Christianity that, this is specifically for the Christians, and then I'll make one for the non-Christians afterwards, right? Okay, for Christians out there, sometimes the world will always feel like it's against you. We know that Christianity is the hardest religion to pursue, and we know it's the real religion for a reason, because it is the most persecuted one throughout time. That hasn't changed, and that will never change. Every time that somebody mocks religion in the media, it's always Jesus Christ. Always. The other day, I saw an ad for a movie that's going to be some sort of twist about how Jesus is some evil demonic figure. It's always Jesus. They always try and make it about him because they know that that's the truth, and they're trying to distract people from it, okay? So, a hero to Christ is a villain to the world. Keep being in Christ, because Christ is all that matters. If you're not with Christ, then cool. Use your fuel of people thinking you're a villain. Stop being a victim of everybody making you the villain. Oh, it's just so bad. Oh, everyone's against me. Show them. Prove them wrong. Show them that sometimes the villain does come out on top, and that when it does, that everybody just goes quiet. The audience does not know what to do, because the hero always wins, right? Until they wake up. I'm sorry, that was interrupted. The villain always, nope, my gosh, I'm botching this, okay? Let's start over. That's the thing about it, right? Is that when it's heroes versus villains, the hero always wins, right? So then prove them wrong. Prove that you're the anomaly that they've been waiting for this entire time, and show them and shock them with how much power and how much fuel you really have to go and accomplish your goals, to go and do all the things that they are fucking scared to do. Okay? That's one. Okay? Number two, okay? Celebrate your accomplishments. Big ones too. Like I said, this problem that I've been having for the last 8 years, we have now officially gotten into the top 3 streaks ever. And provided that after we make it past today, okay, we will be 5 to 6 days away from the longest streak that I have ever had with this. It is a big deal. Celebrate your accomplishments. Take those baby steps so that way when you accomplish even more, it feels even more satisfying, right? Make sure you recognize what's going right in your life and do everything to keep that power, okay? That is number 2. Number 3, okay? What should number 3 be? Because there are a lot of good talking points from number 3, okay? Let's see, what should it be? Oh my gosh. I'm really debating, okay? Let's see. You should always make time. Okay, no, let me see. We'll think about it, okay? Let me see. Yeah, you know what, we'll do that, okay? Number 3, make sure you make time for the good things, right? Make sure you do, okay? There's a lot of busy work, and I have been definitely very busy. I mean, as you can see, there may be a lot of red on this, but I am absolutely doing so much right now. There's like the amount of activities that I have actually been pursuing right this semester. I absolutely do feel like I'm locked in. However, you gotta make time for the fun stuff, right? You gotta make time for meeting up with music. You gotta make time for recording one takes for the sake of like venting and then also getting your thoughts out into the world, or your cringy ass anime speeches, whatever you think it is. I think I did a pretty good job. Hopefully you guys think I did a pretty good job too. But you gotta make time for the fun stuff, because really it is just an escape. And there was this one person that I absolutely love. And you know what, that is one thing. If I gotta lock in on one more thing, I gotta lock in on linking up with friends a little bit more, because I really do like this productive side of me, but I think that I also need to just like let loose a little bit with some more people, right? But you know, the thing about it is that one of my friends was talking like to me, and he was basically just saying like, the thing about it is that like everybody wants to get a good night's sleep sometimes, because this is specifically involving like staying up late at night when you don't have to, and maybe like scrolling or whatever, right? And going from 8 hours to 6 just to get like kind of that dopamine or whatever. But the thing is, like, he was talking about how it is important to wind down, right? Because if you don't wind down, then you're just gonna go insane. And that's really what it's about. So make sure you make time for the fun stuff, right? I feel like I have been working hard, and I think it is going to be a nice little break / productive period, right? This is the definition of a box 2 activity, which I'll probably go over another day. But the fact that I'm meeting up for music to discuss business within music, I mean, come on. That is like perfect, and it fits right into my schedule. It really does. So make sure you make time for that stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. The rest of the night, shower, brush teeth, go to bed, wake up, and start it all over again. And then we keep going. We just keep going. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Cut.